Yes. Okay, EM Hotep, Uncle Josh Neb Neb. My name is Wujedi and Ma'at, and I am your instructor to teach you guys the culture of Kupagani and Gumi and Ma'at Akhu Ba Ankh. Okay, first, I would like to say that for you guys, this information that I'm giving you online right now is for you to grow on. The stuff that you really should worry about is probably some of the moves in terms of getting the recordings. Okay, so I want to focus more on your understanding of what is it that you're doing more so when you do it, you know what you're doing. It's not, okay, I memorize something and I just do it. But as you do, you're supposed to feel something. You're supposed to experience something, right? And you're supposed to have an agenda with what you're doing. So if those things aren't in place, you're just doing something just for the sake of doing it. And that's not, cool. That's just, you just want to be down. For those who want to be certified, I guess I'm speaking more so to Dabu and Casa de Ma'at. Okay. So you guys will have to be into this more so, taking notes. There's various things that you guys will need to know as opposed to others who are just taking this course just to learn a few things that will benefit themselves. So you need to learn certain historical information. I would recommend that you get the book that Infodici has, Spiritual Warriors Are Healers. There's a section that is dedicated to Ma'at Akhu Ba Ankh. Okay, so the chapter, I can tell you, I'm not sure what version you guys have, but if you have the same version I have, it starts on page 413, but it's entitled Ma'at Akhu Ba Ankh. It has the historical information, all the key things that you need to learn. And that's what we're going to have to go through for your certification. Okay, so I just want to put that out there. It's not going to be stuff that I'm just inventing. It's stuff that's already there as a system. And you guys are going to learn that and keep that as a cultural custodian. Okay. All right. So now, why do we choose Kemet for this Ma'at Akhu Ba Ankh or Kupagani and Gumi? What is Kemet? Kemet, oh, somebody else coming in. Ma'at Mes, EM Hotep, Uncle Josh Neb Neb. Okay, so why Kemet? Why not South Africa? Why not East Africa? Why not West Africa? You have some folks out there who are saying, "Hey, man, we're not Egyptian. If you trace your lineage, you're from West Africa. Where you coming from with this Kemetic stuff, right?" You have brothers out there who are saying these things, and that's perpetuating more of division. Okay, this is what you guys need to know as far as why Kemet. Okay, Kemet, as old as you know that it is actually a baby compared to the rest of Africa. Kemet is relatively like yesterday compared to Kush, that's Ethiopia, South Africa, right? There was a time that the people of Kush were like, they remember when Kemet was underwater. So you imagine these places existed before Kemet. Peace, brother, peace. I am explaining why we choose Kemet with this legacy and not South Africa, East Africa, West Africa. When some people are saying, "Hey, we're not Egyptian, we're from West Africa, trace your lineage," you find out that I'm about to help you dispel all that for you guys to know. So you know for yourself and know how to tell people, or clarify the situation, right? Kemet, like I was saying, is relatively new, okay? So there was a time in ancient Kush or ancient Ethiopia where people were like, I remember when Kemet was underwater. So now you figure, right? You have a great civilization. Where do these people come from? They didn't just come out of nowhere, right? People migrated to Kemet, okay? One thing you must know too, if you don't know, right, the map of Africa is actually upside down, right? So when we're talking about north, we're talking about down north, right? So the river Nile flows down to the Mediterranean Sea. So north is down, right? So all these people migrated to Kemet. They built that city, they built that great civilization. So it's more so the children of all the ancestors of the Africans that came before Kemet. So Kemet's like the children of the future to all the other African nations that came before Kemet. So all the knowledges that you see on the walls are collectibles or collectives of previous cultures of African cultures that came to Kemet and brought it there. Kemet is the collection of all the greatness of all the other countries in Africa. So you have certain things that it shows you, certain hairstyles, certain things we used to do, you find in different places in Africa. That's because different people from different parts of Africa came into Kemet, right? All the civilizations that we know before Kemet came and went, rose and fell. But the people there had certain greatness discoveries, right? Great discoveries that they had within their own ethnicity as a group, as a culture. And they brought into Kemet. So Kemet collected all these great things, right? To the point of how you build a civilization to last for eternity. So Efudisha will always say Kemet is the mouthpiece of all of Africa. It tells the story, right? So so all the stuff you see on the walls are basically telling you what happened with all these different people in different parts of Africa. So this is our story. So when they say, oh man, you ain't Kemetic, you ain't from Kemet, you trace your lineage, you're not gonna go back to Kemet, it's probably be West Africa. We know this. I wasn't born in Kemet. I wasn't even born in West Africa. I was born in Port-au-Prince, Haiti. But it doesn't matter because in Haiti, you have all these different tribes that came from Africa, right? And when it was the time of revolution, they realized that they were in the same boat. And they got together and they beat the French, and that's how they got free. So each culture, each ethnic group had their own set of food that they like, music or whatever, but they still had Africa as the homeland. So Kemet is the mouthpiece. Kemet was the university. All these people came to study from in Kemet, from Greece, from Rome. Everybody came to study in Kemet. So it was our great university, our great school of thought. So when we say we are Kemeti U, we are saying that we are a collective of Black people on that continent, right? Kemet or Kemeti U is the Black community. So this is who we are. So we didn't have a name like Africa because you know that's relatively new. It was named after a person. But the fact that how we created Kemet, it was a collective. All these people, like I said, from different areas donated their greatness, right? So we were a community. So that from that point on, that became us. That was our thing in terms of how we created greatness for ourselves. We are a Black community. And that's what Kemet means, Black community. Kemeti U means the people of a Black community, okay? So it's a concept of school of thought, okay? So each individual nation may have their greatness and they donate to Kemet. They could very well say, well, why do I have to go to Kemet? I'm donating to Kemet. But the fact of the matter is their children or their children's children will benefit from not only the greatness that they brought into Kemet, but from all the other people as well. So that's what Kemet became the place to house all that information. And those who are initiates of that, like the priests, are called cultural custodians. So as a practitioner of Akhu Ba Ankh and Kupagana and Gumi, to be certified and to share that knowledge out there, you become part of that legacy as a cultural custodian. So to make it formal for you guys, the plan is to put your name in that community of those who are practitioners of Akhu Ba Ankh. And Fadisha will sign, it'll go back to our shrine, and So if anybody would have questioned you out there, your name is part of that community that we can verify that you are an official Kupagana Ingumi or Akhu Ba Ankh practitioner or healer. So that's what you will get as a certified practitioner. Okay, so it's very serious, and we have to make sure that you know the stuff culturally, you understand the stuff, not just the history and the culture of it, but understanding to the point where you can use it to benefit yourself and teach others how to benefit themselves as well. Okay, so the names are very important. One of the sisters contacted me and asked, why are these names? I'm not bound to no shrine, anything like that. Let me just explain that. Because I sent a video to you guys to check it out before we meet again. And I explained the whole concept of I call it either bow or salute, pay homage. Lack of better term, this is what I mean. We're not saying Jehuti Hu Nep Hu like we bound to the shrine. The shrine members, we say that because each term means something. You engage in something in your mind. So the purpose of our shrine, and Fiducia will say, is to master yourself, to become masters of your own ship. This is why this makes sense with us, because you'll be able to heal yourself because you are a master of your own ship. It's not the physical. If you look in the book, there's food, there's herbs, all these things that come into the practice to be able to heal yourself. Okay, so Jehuti Hu Neb Hu, what does that mean? Right? I explained that Jehuti is the articulate in thought, articulate in speech, and articulate in action. So if you have a plan, a goal, something you're trying to achieve, first you have to be articulate in your thinking to know exactly how to put it together to make it work. And you have to be able to speak it into existence. And you have to be able to act it out. That's Jehuti. So you saying Jehuti, you're not bound to know, you're doing the same thing that the members of the shrine are doing. So you pay homage to Jehuti, meaning that you engage in your consciousness of those things, to be articulate in thought, of speech, and action. And you say Haru. Haru is, as you know, the falcon, as they call Horus in Greece, ancient Greek. So every king wanted to be like Haru. So you want to be that because Haru is the one that brings Ma'at back to the people. So you are the people's savior. You have to save yourself first. You heal yourself so you can save other people. That's why it makes sense to include that, because you taking the stand to help, to aid, to assist, to heal, to protect, right? So Jehuti Haru, right? And we have Neb Hu. Neb is master. So you want to master something. Who is senses? You master your senses. So these are the tools you need to be the captain of your own ship for whatever goal that you have. That once you engage that in your mind, then you start your meditation and you start your training. So this is why I say we pay homage to Jehuti Haru Neb Hu. We say that to basically get into the zone of what you're about to do. Okay, so let me get into some things that I want you guys to learn and basically start practicing. Okay, so we are going to engage the Spiritual Warriors Pledge. That's something that you guys need to learn and memorize. I'm going to say it with you, and I'm also going to have it written down and send it to you guys so that you know it. Because remember, the goal is to become a spiritual warrior. And that you are independent and protecting yourself, because you're going to learn to combat as well, and to heal yourself, because that's the balance you need to be able to protect and combat. And if something happens to you, you can heal yourself, right? So you need that total balance. So we're just going to repeat after me. I'm going to show you how you stand. And these will start the principle of how you start your training. Okay. So first, let me show you what a Kupagana Ngumi ready stance looks like. So How do you stand? First, your feet are in a V position, like so. Can you guys see my feet? Okay. And your chest is up. Remember, you're a warrior. You're a soldier. You know, it's all about being strong and being ready. So your chest is up to mean that you're brave and you're ready. Your arms are to the side like this. This is when you're in class and you have a teacher that's teaching Kupagani Gumi, that's the stand that you take, okay? So since we're going more so into Akhu Ba Ankh, I want to show you slightly a different stance that I want you guys to start engaging. So let's say you want to go to the park one day. You want to basically meditate, do whatever you want to do, right? So you pick a spot. I like being under a tree and facing the sun. That's just me, right? So your feet are going to be in a V the same way, right? So the V basically is the pyramid, the Merkut. That's the key word, Merkut. That means pyramid. And your hands are going to form the same thing. Your hands are going to form what is called a Merkut as well. So the right hand usually on top and your thumbs like this. You see the triangle? Like so. And basically, this is your meditative stance. My knees are slightly bent. I want to be comfortable. I don't want to be all tight. I want to sink a little bit, shoulders down, and I'm ready. I can close my eyes, you know, if I want to, right? So now, before you engage even that, as far as your training, next thing you're going to do, you're going to form a diamond shape. You're going to raise it up, and then you're going to go under that diamond shape. If you inhale, right? Inhale. You go under the diamond shape, exhale, and push up, all the way up. And then you open your arms like so. And then you form the pyramid again. Your hands were facing up. Now you face them upside down. And then you form the pyramid again. And now you're fully ready. So what you just did was you engage in the standing position to begin, your hands in the position, and then you want to take a deep breath and basically embrace the whole atmosphere that's around you, your aura. So this is why you take a big inhale like so. You open up, you go underneath, you push out, and you open nice and wide, and then you come down. That's your ready stance. Okay, form that pyramid. So you can do this in class with me when I'm about to show you a particular drill. So basically you stand in that position and you wait. And then I instruct the same way. If you were to teach a class, you would do the same thing. You teach them how to stand and wait. This is your most patient way to basically be calm. Your knees are slightly bent, softened, so you don't feel any rigidness in your body. So your body's ready to do anything, right? Okay. So that's your Akhu Ba Ankh ready stance. Remember Ma'at, Akhu Ba Ankh. If you don't know the definitions, I can go over it again, right? Ma'at, reciprocity, harmonious, balance, justice, divine law, basically, right? Akhu is the glorious spirit, to glorify yourself. If you're like this, you want to glorify yourself, right? And let your spirit come out, because for some reason you probably was inflicted emotionally, whether it's a relationship, a job situation, you know, your ego is checked or whatever, right? You always want to bring it back home. Okay, so you want to be in that state of mind that you're ready and you block everything else out, right? So you're in tune with yourself, right? So glorify your spirit means that everything else outside of me doesn't matter anymore. It's all about the way I need to feel. You want to glorify, magnify how you want to feel. Akhu Ba is your soul. You know, through this type of training and practice, you're gonna constantly question yourself if you applying properly, because if you're trying to perfect yourself, you're always going to, find ways to enhance or better yourself. So, so your soul, if you feel like you've done certain things that's wrong, which cause that emotional situation that you're going through, you're going to channel these things. You want to go back because that's your soul. Your soul is who you truly are, right? What type of person you are, right? So you don't want something to stick to your soul because there's reciprocity in Ma'at. You have to go back, find what you did wrong. Because at the end of the day, later on, when you are of no fault of anything, you have a spiritual wall that's called Ma'at that protects you. But if you're against Ma'at, you're doing what's called Isfed, you don't have that same wall. You don't have that same spiritual protection. So you want to be able to check your soul. Is it in Ma'at, right? And Ankh, we know, is life. So all these things pertaining to how you live life. Ma'at Akhu Ba Ankh. So you can say these words and put it in however way you want to speak it, right? Because it's not just one word like yoga, right? It's explaining, what you're about to do. It's just like, saying Jehuti Hu Nephu. You're not just saying one word like you're praying to something. No, you invoking with words, knowing what you're saying, what you're about to do, right? You want to have articulate thought, speech, and action. You want to be, bring Ma'at back to the people and yourself. And you want to master your senses. So that way you go into your journey and do what you need to do with utmost efficiency, with strength and power. Okay? So we're going to do the next stance. Is called the Kemet stance. And basically is the stance that's in Ma'at. You guys seen it all the time. And with this, I want to recite the Spiritual Warriors Pledge. We may not have to do this every time, but just to be introduced with that, just repeat after me. It's going to be call and response. So I'm going to require you guys, I'm going to have to sit down when I do this, but I'm going to show you how you need to stand. So I'm going to require you guys to stand. So your left foot's going to be forward, and your left hand is forward, like so. And your right hand is here. It's not equal. Your left hand is more forward, your right hand is back. Exactly. You don't want your shoulders to be too high or anything like that. You want to be nice and relaxed. So now what this is, your left hand is the receiving hand, and your right hand is the giving hand. If you're in a Kemet circle, performing any type of spiritual act, you do the same thing. Your left hand will be up, because you're receiving the other person's hand, and your right hand will be down because you will be giving the next person your hand. Same way you're standing, left is receiving, right is giving. Okay, so repeat after me. I am a spiritual warrior in training.
Spiritual warrior in training.
I am because we are one.
Because we are one.
Only the one exists.
Only the one exists.
We are divine spiritual beings having a divine human experience.
Have a divine human spirit.
It is my personal responsibility
It is my personal responsibility
to master my own spiritual energy.
to master my own spiritual energy.
I see what cannot be seen.
I see what cannot be seen.
I feel what cannot be felt.
I feel what cannot be felt.
I hear what cannot be heard.
I hear what cannot be heard.
I know what is unknowable.
I know what is unknown.
Because I am the essence of all things.
Because I am the essence of the all things.
I will do the unthinkable.
Do the unthinkable.
Because within me is the power of sovereignty.
The power of the sovereignty.
I will live by the 5 laws of the spiritual warrior.
I will live at the 5 law of the spiritual warrior.
The law of responsibility.
The law of responsibility.
The law of ma'at.
The law of ma'at.
The law of love.
The law of love.
The law of fearlessness.
The law of fearlessness.
The law of refining and giving my gifts.
The law of refining and giving my gift and living my gift.
I am the manifestation.
I'm the manifestation
Of harmonious intuition.
Of harmonious intuition.
And strong will.
And strong will.
I am Shamsu Haru.
I'm Shamsu Haru.
In human form.
In human form.
A protector.
The protector.
Of the sovereign rights.
Of the sovereign right.
Of my people.
Of my people.
I am an ancient link.
I am the ancient link.
To Kash and Kemet.
To Kash and Kemet.
I am a link to immortality.
I'm linked to immortality.
I am the past.
I'm the past.
I am the present.
I am the present.
I am the future.
I am the future.
I am an impeccable warrior.
I am an impeccable warrior.
I am a spiritual warrior.
I am a spiritual warrior.
Dua nature. Amen. So if you were listening to the words that she was saying, I mean, you know, they're powerful. You know, it puts you in a frame of mind of being powerful, of recognizing your power and what you can do and what your mission is as a spiritual warrior. So as a practitioner, especially ones who's certified, I believe this is very important for you to memorize. I mean, it's something that all initiates memorize, but you guys are not initiates, but initiates are required to learn Akhu Ba Ankh. So if you guys need to be certified in Akhu Ba Ankh, you should know the Spiritual Warrior's Pledge, because that's what is going to basically make you turn you into a spiritual warrior. Okay, so again, you know, this stuff is from Kemet. So if you don't know the words, I'll teach you the words and what they stand for. Okay, I can stop the. Okay, nice. Okay, beautiful, beautiful, my sister. You know, like I said, these words are very powerful, and they are ours to invoke the strength and the power in us. So again, let's rewind. As a practitioner, you've been feeling a certain way all week. You know, whether you're down, if you felt like, I don't know, somebody made you feel less than what you are. You in a relationship, it went bad, job situation, whatever it is, you need to realign yourself with the power that you know you have within. So you take yourself somewhere. You may have too much noise pollution in your room, in your house. You may want to go outside and embrace the awe, even though there's noise, but you see it as part of nature and you still can be calm. Maybe our home is a little different, okay? So what you first do, right? You get into this pose and you think about what you want to do, right? This is like your problems that you have. You hold it with the pyramid, with the Merkut, right? And then however you want to feel, you make that your goal. So you tell yourself that the same way you would tell your client, your clientele, whoever you're trying to help, and you go through this with them. The problem is in your hands here. You're in control of it, right? If it was here, it's troublesome, right? So you put in your mind, your problem here is here. Now you're gonna do something with it, okay? You notice my arms are bent. I'm not like tight and my legs are not tight. I'm relaxed, okay? So now I want to go into the salute that I was telling you about that you guys need to learn. Okay, that's very good. It's Rosalina, Rosa, just Rosa, right? Okay, cool. So
can I ask you?
Yes.
Because it's so dark around your feet. That you can show me exactly the position. The heels get together or not?
You form a pyramid. So my feet are like this.
Oh, okay. All right.
Let me.
I see now. I can see now.
Right.
All right.
And then my knees.
My
knees are slightly bent. Right. I don't want to be tight because I can't move. Right. So I want to be able to be loose. The only way I can be loose is soften the knees. Right. And then my hands are here. And drop my hands. Okay, good. So
all right, thank you.
You're welcome. How do we do the salute that I was talking about? Okay, so let me go over it again. I need to have a better name so you guys don't get confused with the word salute. Like I said, the sister was like, am I bound to your shrine? I'm like, no, that's not what you're doing. You know, you using the same words that the practitioners of the shrine are using. That's all, you know, Jehuti Hu Nepu. But how do you do the physical, you know, bowing or salute? So let me explain again. Why do we do it? So you want to realize that you're not alone. You want to realize that you are harnessing whatever you need to get from another source that you are connected to. Okay, so it's within you and it's out there as far as a source. So you need to make that connection so you can harness whatever it is. Okay, so this is why I say when I do my Akhu Ba Ankh, I like to go to the park. I like to be under a tree. I like to look for the sun. And every time, you know, I'm doing these things, I like to match, you know, my pyramid or my diamond with the sun, because it's all about alignment. If you know back, you know, in ancient times, the pyramids align with the stars. So there's a lot of importance with that in terms of alignment. We'll go more deep into that. So we do the salute basically to say, basically, I'm here. You know, you, like I said, you're not alone. So you basically salute or speak to the what do you call it? Speak to nature, right? And the spirit of what you're trying to connect with hears, because you're gonna vibrate. You know, it can be any of the nature. Nature is the divine principles of the creator, right? So all the forces, all that stuff is what is the will of the creator in terms of what it needs to create. And these forces are the vehicles, right? So these divine principles or forces is all of the creator. So once you learn the principle of the moon, we learn the moon is, you know, has a name, Iya, and the moon has a nature, which is Khonsu. So this is why when we say these words, we're not praying to somebody because these people never existed. You have to know that and explain to people they're not people that existed. They're principles. They're trying to help you understand something. Because if you remember, our ancient way in Africa was storytelling to be able to explain certain things. And then because a lot of stuff were being lost, right? And throughout generations, we started recording the stuff. Okay. So the same way storytelling was told, we use different things to tell a story. You know, we know principles of what they are and we put it in story form. So if you know what the sun is good for, you could put it in practice form and use it, you know, in a way that benefits you. The same way the flowers, the plants, and everything benefits from the sun. You know, you understand the nature of the moon in terms of emotions. You know, you have the phases of the moon. The moon does reacts with your emotions. So if it's an emotional thing, you know, you want to align your emotions properly, you know, you deal with the moon. So all these things you choose as a practitioner, and you also instruct whoever you're trying to help, or you do it with them, and so that they learn. Okay. So how do we do it? So this, I'm going to actually send you guys a video of me doing the whole bow, a salute, or whatever, so that you guys can watch it over and over again, right? Because you probably won't get it here. And it's up to you guys to learn it, to start putting into practice when you go out there to do whatever. So right now, you're not necessarily doing it to gain, you're just trying to learn it. You're just gonna keep practicing it until you now want to gain something from it, and you go out there and you do it. Okay, so these are the steps. So first, get ready into your stance and bring my camera closer. Okay, so I want to take that deep breath that I was talking about, basically to be one with my environment, right? So I turn my Merkut into a big diamond upside down. Good. As I'm inhaling, right, I'm going to swoop down, my hands go up, and I'm going to put my hands above my head and then exhale and push up all the way up until my arms are straight, right? You see my arms, my hands, and then I open my hands out and then they come out like this to the side. Good. And now you put upside down and then you form the Merkut again. So what you just did, right? Let me just rewind real quick. You come to the park, you get into your position, you find your comfort zone, and you want to take a deep breath to get yourself ready, right? Inhale again, and exhale again, and form the Merkut. Okay, awesome, good. So these are the words, right? Shikamo, Netcher, Shikamo, whatever entity or whatever that you're trying to engage in. I'll repeat it again so you can write it down, okay? So your Shikamo means basically you paying homage to, or you're showing respect to. So you say Shikamo Netcher. Remember, Netcher is the name of the creator, right? Or the principle of creation, which is the father, whatever you want to call it. Netcher, Shikamo Netcher. And then you say Shikamo again to whomever. You don't need to say Wajedi as your teacher. That's not necessary. I don't need that. You could say Netcheru, which means the forces, the sub-forces of the creator. I like to use that. But if you in front of the sun, you could say Shikamo Netcher, Shikamo Ra, because you're in front of the sun. The name of the sun is Ra, okay? So that's the word, but this is the action. If you were doing it in front of, let's say, a teacher. So remember I told you to block your right hand in front of the left, like this, like so. Right, good. So your right foot, now, due to level of capabilities, I have this for people who have no issue with their knees, backs, or whatever, because there's a slight skip. And I also have a version for elders, or those who can't do it. So you need to know both so you can, show whomever can't do it, both ways to do it. Now, for those who can't do it, this is an easy way. The elders, right, you block. Now your right foot, right, is going, the bottom of your right foot is gonna kick the floor. And then you're gonna step forward with the right foot. Right. Now, what do you do with the left foot now? After you do that, if you have good balance, you're gonna bring the left foot and then hook it to your right leg like this. If you have good balance, okay. And if you don't have good balance, right, this is what you do. After you kick, you just on your toes back here, right? Can you see my foot? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, so now, that's the way if you can't do the jump. Now for everybody else, we're gonna do the jump. The bottom foot's gonna kick the floor and you're gonna hop on that same foot and then hook in the back like this. You kick, go forward and hook. Okay, that's the first motion. Now remember, your right hand is in front and your right hand is on the outside and your left is on the right. So your right hand now is gonna, the back of your right hand is gonna smack your right leg. Smack. And then your left foot that's hooked, you're gonna step forward. A big step forward. And then you're gonna go down on your knee. The left hand is on your knee. And your right hand smacks the floor. Okay. And then this is when you greet, whether it's the ocean, whether it's the moon, whether it's the sun, or whether it's the teacher that's in front of you that's teaching. So let's pretend that we all in front of Mfidishi right now. We're gonna do it 3 ways. In front of Mfidishi, we're gonna do in front of the sun and I don't know, the sky, Nut. Yes, okay. So again, so let's make believe Mfidishi. Okay, my Akhu Ba already stands. Okay, now you're gonna say Shikamu Netra, Shikamu Mfidishi when you go down. So when I say go, first you're gonna block. Your right is in the front, okay? And then your right foot kicks the floor and you jump and hop and hook. Nice. Your right hand is gonna tap the back right. Step forward with your left now. As you step down, your left hand is on your knee to brace yourself. And then you just come down and this is your salute when you smack the floor in front of you. Now, if you can't go all the way down, so now you can tell your practitioner or yourself, because it's all about the gesture. You can just go down like this and touch the floor and not necessarily bring your knee all the way down. You could just reach towards your own knee. Because the thing is, you're showing humility by going down, right? That's the gesture. But if you have it in you, you go all the way down, smack the floor, boom. And then you say Shikamu Netra, Shikamu, whatever you're gonna do. In this instance, we say Mfidishi, so we say Shikamu Netra, Shikamu Mfidishi. And then if we're doing it to the sun, it has nothing to do with anybody. To the sun, we say Shikamu Netra, Shikamu Ra. If we're doing it to the sky, the goddess principle, we say Nut, right? But the word that you need to say is Shikamo. Make sure I spell that right. It's Shika. I believe it's Moo. I don't know if it's Shikamu. But put that for now. I can always go back and make sure. Let me see. I could see if I could look it up. So Netra, it's 2 O's. I was right. Netra is, remember in Madu Netra hieroglyphs, we don't put the vowels. It's N-T-C-H-R, Netra, Shikamu Netra. And then you also say Shikamu again to whatever entity, force that you're trying to gain something from. Whether it's a teacher you're trying to gain the lesson from, whether it's one of the forces of nature, Ra, or the Netru, you say Netru, you can say Nut, whatever it is. So the more you learn about them, you can choose which one you want to put into that, okay? So now what do you do after you smack the floor? So now you're at the park, you got into your pose, right? You figure out what's wrong with you or whatever. Normally, we'll do the pulse thing. I'll show you that next time. You gauge yourself, you take that big breath, and then now you salute whomever, whatever, right? And then usually if it's somebody like Mfidishi, he'll say marahaba, meaning that I accept or I acknowledge you acknowledging me or whatever, right? And if it's not Mfidishi, it's whatever, there's nobody there. So after that, right? So you say Shikamu Netra, Shikamu Mfidishi, right? And then he goes marahaba. Or if there's nobody there, you just say Shikamu Netra, Shikamu Ra, and you're gonna get up on your own. First, what you do is block like this. Right. And then now you're gonna come up and then like so. Excellent, good. So now the name, how do we salute? First, we form the Merkut, and we go Jehuti. That's Jehuti. And then we form the block here, we say Peru. Then we step forward with the left foot. We say Neb, which means master. And then we step back again, we say Hu, which means senses. And then we pay homage to the sky, we say Pet. We look up the sky, we have to look. And then cross your arms and then we pay homage to the earth, which is Ta. And then we keep going like this and you say Dua. So you exchange energy. As I explained before, this is how you exchange energy, right? You have a giving and a taking, giving and taking. This is reciprocity. This is our culture. We don't just take, we give and take, right? We don't just give and we don't just take, we do both. So we say dua, okay? So let me just rewind real quick. So you come to the park, you get into your position, you say, you know what, I'm feeling like I need to use the sun to meditate right now and feel strong and powerful. Okay, now I'm ready. And then you pick your diamond, take a deep breath, go underneath, push it forward, push it up, exhale, open up, another inhale, and then close, form your Merku. Okay, and now you're ready to salute because you took a big breath. You want to give your salute with all your breath, right? So you feel powerful with it. So you, right, your right hand is in front, okay? And first thing you do, remember, you kick the floor, hop, one foot, then you smack, no, with your right hand, the other hand, right. And then step forward with the foot that's up and come all the way down and smack the floor. So remember, your left hand is on the knee and your right hand smacks the floor, right. So you brace yourself. All you're doing is bracing yourself on your knee. You give yourself support, right? So look, you jump and then your knees here, you don't want to just go down, so you just brace yourself. You put your hand on your knee to come down. As if you're trying to pick up something, you put your hand on your knee and you pick it up. That's all you're doing with that hand. So your one hand does the smack, which is the right hand, and the left hand is the one that's gonna go on the knee. Right hand does the smack, step forward first with the other foot, and then come down, put your hand on that knee. Nope, your left hand. There you go. Now come all the way down and smack the floor. Good. So you say shikamu necher, shikamu ra, right? Because you're doing to ra. Okay. And then before you get up, you block. Don't worry, I'm gonna send a video to you guys because I already videotaped myself at the park doing this. You block, and then as you come out, because remember, even though this is Akhu Ba Ankh, we start gauging to protection. This is, you always want to block your middle. So you do whatever you do, you're about to go from point A to point B in transition, you block. Because as you fight, you're gonna learn, if I'm about to go this way, I don't just go that way, my face is open. I go that way in a certain way, always block. So you block this way, correct? And then you step back and boom. Good. And then you go Jehuti, Haru, step forward with the left, Neb, right? Step back, Hu, Pet, and Ta. So from Pet, you cross your arm again like this, and then you go Ta, right? And then keep the circle going. Boom. You say Dua. Okay. And then after that, you just go back into your stance, right? Okay, that's your Akhu Ba Ankh stance. If it was Kupagani and Gumi, after you do whatever, your stance would be like this, ready for combat training. This is healing training. So after you do whatever, every time, you go back to this and be ready for the next thing. Okay? All right. So let me pause here for any questions. I want to show you maybe one or two other things. And I want to summarize what I need to send to you guys so that you guys, know this. Because like I said, it's more so of you guys understanding this stuff. Because the physical motions will become easy because that's just memorizing, okay, I could just practice that. But if you don't understand what you're doing, you won't gain the benefits and you won't be able to share that with anyone so they can gain the experience that you gained from it, okay? Any questions? Because like I said, class is usually gonna be about an hour and I leave, about half an hour, for any Q's and A's. You guys sometimes want to mingle, that's why after 8 o'clock, if you gotta leave, that's fine. 8 o'clock, I gotta leave, then it's fine too. But any questions so far? Yes, Zell, I think Zell was first.
Yeah. Are you are you going to show us how to breathe properly? I remember
Yes.
seeing a video.
Yes. The first thing that I want to show you guys is probably the breathing, the first breathing exercise called Shu, because once you know about this that you just learned today, right? That's basically the beginning of learning how to apply Shu, right? So to explain real quick, if I didn't explain before, Shu is the nature of air. So we use that. Paying homage to Shu is just basically using the principle of air to master your breathing. Remember, it's mastering yourself, right? So it's about elongating your breath. How long is your breath, right? Can you breathe 5 breaths per minute, 3 breaths per minute, 1 breath per minute? You know, I think earlier today I was just measuring myself. I think I did probably was like 2 breaths per minute, like 1 breath, right? Maybe it was 15, 20 seconds. I don't know. I wasn't counting, but it's basically how much you can take and how much you can squeeze in when it becomes difficult, which is the tricky part. So by using your whole body in the process, it won't just be your lungs working for you anymore or your diaphragm working for you anymore. It's going to be all inclusive, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah, I saw your chest lifting.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Because it starts in the diaphragm and it goes to a certain point, but the rest of my body can pull more oxygen in. And that's what the problem was, especially like this stuff with COVID. It attacks your breathing, right? So you have a disconnection between your diaphragm area and your lungs area, right? So it some here there's a blockage and you can't get oxygen in your lungs. Your diaphragm may be working, but it's not pushing the air where it needs to be here. And then eventually heart failure, whatnot. So your length of your breath may be about to here, right? But you want to use the power that you've learned, that you do have, the proper way to make it go all the way here. So when I couldn't breathe, bless. I couldn't breathe because this was all congested or the trap, the blockage. This thing saved my life because I was all alone. Nobody was home. Nobody could even call a hospital. I was just like, and I just struggled to, do what I could. Because I remember when I was trained, I didn't even know, to tell you the truth, that I would need it in that fashion that I used it, because all I know is that I came to class and the senior brothers who were there at that time teaching, and I noticed, they go up and then they say, hold your breath, 5 seconds. And I'm like, okay. And then you turn it upside down and then you hold your breath again. And then I'm like, at this point, I need more air. So I'm like, there's no way I can do that. I'm watching everybody else. So I was like, oh, so I just got to pull in more oxygen. So by doing that, I gained the ability to lengthen my breath because I'm like, there's no way I'll just pass out. And then the more I kept doing, I'm like, oh, I can pull in more oxygen when my body's like, that's it. I just want to be weak. It's like, nah, dude, you could just pull more because you need more, right? So Shu is probably like it's in the beginning of my Akhu Ba Ankh. If you see that in that chapter, it's very important. Your breath is everything. Everything. It sets everything into motion. You could live without food for a certain amount of time. You could live without water for a certain amount of time, but without air, that's it. That's the only way I lost in a competition when I used to compete, is because I had this mouthpiece where I couldn't breathe. I thought it was cool, but it covers the top and your bottom teeth, so you couldn't open your mouth like a regular mouthpiece. So all they had was a little hole in the middle, so you can breathe. But you can't fight with that. You could train with that because there's no anxiety factor. Running, skipping rope. But as soon as I got in the ring, you're supposed to get anxiety, that nervousness. But I couldn't handle that with that little hole. It was like breathing through a straw. I was better than a guy, you know, every time he came close, but I kept gassing out after a certain amount of exchanges because I couldn't breathe, you know. So your breath is very important. It empowers you. And, you know, without it, you can, that's it. So, so we have Shu, Shuwa, Shu Sanu, Shu Shemet, and Shu Fadu. So we have 5 different breathing exercises that I want to teach you guys. Okay. And I want to also show you guys, this is for next time. You can write it down if you want. It's going to be Shu, the first stretching exercises, because it's going to the principle of where the alignments are in your body, so you can move with grace. So when it comes to move fast, you can move fast. You don't break anything, because there's a certain way your body moves that's going with the grain, and there's a certain way your body moves that's going against the grain that you shouldn't do that, right? Like your knee bends a certain way, the other way it does not bend, right? So once you learn all these principles of your body, then your movements will be more graceful, because you're following a guideline that's always going to be constant. Your knee should never bend the other way. So you know that guideline is always going to be in your back of your mind. You have to move a certain way, because the other way will break your knee. So the same goes with your hips, your ankles, your knees, your waist, your shoulders. Everything turns how you turn, because the turning gives you the power. It helps you be graceful with what you're doing in terms of motion, right? And how to be strong with resistance too, right? So all these things, you're going to use those as tools to benefit yourself through your practice, right? So again, all here first. Yes, question.
Yeah, real quick, I wanted to go over the when we do Jehuti, Haru,
Neb,
Neb,
who,
Hu.
pet,
What is Hu again?
who is your senses.
Senses.
So you want to master, which is Neb, like Neb Ra, you
Right.
know, Kuru Neb Ra, or Neb Kuru Ra, one who masters the voice of Ra, you know. So when you see Neb in front of anything, means master, to master something. So
Okay.
Neb, who master senses. That's what Neb is. And
Pet
Nebuchadnezzar
is
is the
sky.
master.
Right. Pet is sky. Ta is
Is
earth.
the earth, right?
And what is this called? What do you call that?
Well, like I said, you know, it's paying homage, is engaging, you know, the relationship that because you engage in your spiritual realm. Okay. So if you want to say you saluting, you paying homage, right? Okay, Michelle. All right, Shemotep. See you next time. So
saluting is paying homage. Then what is with the kick and the shikamu? Is this called shikamu or
shikamu? Well, it's all inclusive. It's
all inclusive.
All inclusive.
So we would,
like I said, you first, it's like you're greeting somebody and you're waiting for a response, and then you close it out. So you greet by doing this, and you go down. Okay. If it's somebody like in Fidishi or somebody teaching you, they'll say Marahaba, and then you go back up and do Jehuti, Huru, Nephu. Now, if it's nobody there, you using what you learned from Infidishi or from me or whatever, you go out there on your own, whether it's to the sun or whatever, Shikamu Necher, Shikamu Ra, you go down. Now, Ra, the sun is not going to be like Shikamu, you know, it's not going to say anything. You just know to come back up. You say what you need to say. And you say Jehuti, Haru, Nephu, Pet, Ta, and you close it up, right? Because now you using the presence and the energy of the sun, you know it's there, you know it has a connection to the earth, you know all living things pull from it, you know you have a connection. It's whether or not you want to acknowledge it and use that pathway, that bridge, and get from the sun or not, because it's there, right? So there's a way that you can pull from it, or a way that's just there, is doing its thing without you engaging anything. Yes.
So now with the shikamu, like we do that when we teaching only, or if we see you or
when you teaching,
or
well, when you by yourself, you do it to, like I say, you greet whatever force.
I'm saying, like I say, if I see you, in the
Uh-huh.
street? Do I just
Oh.
do this, the Haru, or do I do the
Oh, no,
Shikamu?
no, no. You only do that in training, you know. Shikamu basically is only to somebody that you hold in high regards.
Okay.
Like you say Shikamu to an elder. I wouldn't say to my boy, yo, what up, man? Shikamu. That means like he's my elder or something like that. I wouldn't say that. You know, that's a specific word in Swahili that applies to somebody you hold in high regards and you show them that level of respect. So that's why it's to an Infudishi, it's to nature, it's to your teacher because you hold them because they're teaching you something, you know. So you usually just do that within that training time moment. This is not like, hey, what up, what up? You know, we have other things, you know, Habari Gani, that's, you know, that's your comment.
Right.
So you have to keep the African culture by using the African names, you know.
Right.
And Kemet, like I said, is the mouthpiece of all Africa. So to dispel these guys coming at you, man, you ain't no from Kemet, dude. You know, you trace your lineage, you probably from West Africa, da, 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 da. You know, go back to the beginning. I explained all that. You know, it's the mouthpiece of all Africa. Kemet speaks for all of us, for all the cultures, because all the cultures donated to Kemet. Because Kemet, the people didn't just rose up out of the sand and just built great things. No, the people migrated there and created the stuff. Various cultures, our own people. So that's what you should tell these people trying to down you because they don't want to they don't want to be patient and take the initiative to learn this stuff, right? And so they'd rather just criticize it, you know? And they don't realize this is how the Asiatics came and create our demise because we're like, oh, you guys over there, we're this here, y'all that. All the Asiatics had to come, all they had to do was, yo, they said this and that about you. Yo, here's some guns, you know? So they took advantage of the conflict that we had because of the differences and then caused and perpetuate or instigated the wars that we had against each other. And they were able to control us that way and defeat us that way. So we have these Negroes, American Negroes here who are disregarding the need for our Pan-African mission or movement. So by speaking the words of separation, you're doing the same thing that these Wazungus did. So Kemet is the Pan-Africanism of our people. It's the mouthpiece of all Africa. It speaks for all of us. It's not just Kemet. Kemet just didn't become Kemet. It's the people that made Kemet, right? We are the Kemeti U. Not saying that we were born there. You know, our school of thought in terms of who we are as a people that create this legacy of this culture, you know, that belongs to us. At that point, we were known as the Kemeti U. So this is where we were a collective. That's when we were a people. So that's where we use that term. So you need to explain to these people, you need to know that yourselves first and explain properly to people, right? Okay. Any other questions? So I just want to go over what we do next time. So now, basically, I've given you how to engage your zone, right? You're about to practice or you're about to learn, okay? So we're going to do shu, first shu, the first stretching exercise, and Olimwingo. This is the jet pillar. This is for stability. This is for your posture in terms of your physical frame and makeup, bad back, neck trouble, shoulders, you know, posture, you leaning over, you're not realizing your alignment is not good. Olimwingo. You know, I've done Olimwingo many times, not because, oh, I need to practice it for class. I've done it to help myself many times, you know, just by staying a certain way. And after a while, your body recognizes the silhouette of your body in terms of your positioning. And if there's any type of ailments or tightness as you breathe, you're going to hear your body start cracking because your breath is just going to push everything into alignment because you're going to keep breathing. Your breath is always looking for a path of non-resistant. So wherever it's tight, your breath is going to keep pushing because it wants to go through. So you're going to feel the cracks and cracks like, oh man, you're going to keep adjusting yourself. And then at the end, when you're done, you find yourself like, yo, wow, your alignment is good. And the fact that how you held your arms, how your breath was circulating, not confined, your breath gonna be stronger, you're gonna feel lighter, and your alignment is gonna feel good. Of course, you gotta do it for like, more than like 10, 15 minutes. That's the only thing, but that's the benefit. You're not gonna hold it for like 1 minute. Yo, I don't feel nothing, yo, this thing ain't working for me. It's like, yo, man, it's the training, because your breath, it takes a while for you, because it's gonna be like, all right, whatever. But after a while, it's like, yo, I want to push through. There's space over here. So your breath is gonna keep looking for the path of resistance, of non-resistance, until it's like free flowing and your body feels good. So Olumwengo, we'll learn those 3 things because I think we have enough time for those. And each thing that I teach you guys, like I said, I'd rather send you guys those videos instead. Like I want to send you guys a video of me doing the salute as opposed to the whole video of this session, because I want to keep this sacred, especially to you guys who are taking this seriously, who want to be certified. You don't want this stuff to be spread out everywhere. And you guys are actually taking a step to learn it, the right way, back into, in the form of legacy. We have somebody that taught somebody that taught somebody. So you could always refer back. Yeah, I know that person. Yeah, he's down with us. Yes, he's in the federation. Yes, she is. Yes, she's a practitioner. As opposed to somebody, who has access to these videos, learn the stuff to some degree, and then, they teach you guys when you guys took the step of learning stuff. But like I said, I still want to be able to send you guys videos of the how to do's. But the level of understanding, the dialogues, the explanation of stuff will be done here because it has to be kept sacred. I hope that's okay with you guys,
Will you be able to email us the recordings of the Zooms?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. And I'm wondering if I should not do that because it'll be out there. But I will think more into that. If you guys are okay with it, I mean, perhaps, yeah, I guess I don't mind. It's just that you guys are taking a step to be certified, and we want to make sure we keep that stuff, here and not.
I think emailing it would be best because I saw you put the stuff on YouTube, the introduction. But I know I looked at a video of Mfundishi's about like 3 or 4 years ago when I was in college. They took a lot of his videos down. YouTube did.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
wow.
Because it it depends on the region you're in. In America specifically, they took him down because of like inappropriate content when he's really just talking about Kemet. Wow. So I was thinking you can just actually physically email them to us. So we would have them and it would still stay within the people here.
You know what? I think this recording, I may not be able to do that because I chose the function to save on my laptop. If I saved on an iCloud, then it will be a link. Because what I've been doing, I've been saving on my laptop, and then I upload it on YouTube because it's such a large file. But if I had saved it as an iCloud file, then it would have been a link and I could just send that to you. So I don't know. I will try, going forward, I will try what you said. Next time I will record it as into a link instead.
Just regard to the video, for me, what will be more helpful is to have like a record that I can see, like not necessarily the whole class, but like for those sequences that you.
Yes, that's exactly what I said.
Because it's kind of like I'm sure when I'm trying to repeat, there will be like some confusion.
Yes.
And I think watch the whole video won't be necessary if exactly. I have the 3 sequences that we did today.
Exactly. Yes, that's what I was saying before. I think it would be best. We keep what we discuss here. It's going to be lengthy anyway, a lot of Q&As and stuff like that. To watch all that again, I figured, the physical activities that we learn, I'll videotape myself doing that and send to you guys. Like today, all we learned today was this. So I have a video of that, and you guys, I could send that to you guys, and you guys learn that. So everything that I teach as far as physical activity, whatever it is, whatever it is, I'll put on tape because you guys already understand what it's about. The same way we in class, physical class with Infedici, like you have new members come, and then of course they lost, like, oh, what are you doing, whatever. So we teach them first, and then at the end of class, Infedici usually asks me to videotape myself for them. So I tell them, bust out the camera, videotape me doing whatever, and they could take it home. But they don't get that first. They come to get the knowledge first, try it out, practice, and then they get to take home, just the physical part that they learned. Right. So that's why I think, just to keep it constant with that, rather than send a whole hour and a half or whatever recording.
Yeah.
Because we always going through stuff anyway. You ask questions, we're going to go over them anyway. So to watch the whole thing over, it's kind of like, just stick with what you need to do and make sure you understand, and make sure you ask questions, and make sure you write stuff down. Because, I want you guys to learn how to say the things, spell them properly, because you don't want to look like, you don't know the stuff too well, You spell it all weird and stuff. Like, it's the same thing. It's like, it's like you're not showing any real importance to it. It's like, as long as I can say it, whatever. Then you're like, we have no real respect for this stuff, So even like the pronunciation, got to learn how to say it too. Akhu Ba Ankh has very little Kiswahili. It's mostly Mdunecher. As you learn, you guys transfer over to Kupagani and Gumi, it's going to be more Kiswahili, but this is regarding the more Kemet. So it's more so all the terms that you hear about, you're going to learn them, the Necharu, what they stand for, Ma'at, Nut, Geb, Set, Hetraru, Asar, Aset, Haru. They all have these principles that, we incorporate with our training. So we always mindful what they mean, and we see them on the walls and stuff. You can start even understanding some of them do naturally, because when you see them, you know what they stand for. So you get to understand why they're there, because it's communicating something. And that's what the Madu is all about, like, just to be real quick with the whole religious stuff with Moses and Mount Sinai, whatever it was, right? When he says, okay, what do I call you? What do I tell the people your name is? It said, I am that I am that I am. So I don't have a name. People gave the creator God. People created that term. But God, it's like, it is what it is. It is what it is. That's basically the Madu nature, right? You have all these functional symbols or whatever, these things that mean something. So it is what it is. It's telling you what it is. But if you want to call it and write it down, whatever, then okay, let's create these letters that represent them. So the same way they create G-O-D or Jehovah or whatever to represent that I am, the same way Madu nature, we create the A and the B and the C to represent these, things that are in nature, that you just understand what they are. Right? So that's the Madu nature. So you learn these principles so you can use them. Some people don't know about this stuff. It's like, they're speaking in tongue. But no, I guess, yeah, because they don't know what you're saying.
African tongue.
Hey, call it what you want, but that's what the high priest was doing. They saying these things, but they mean something. They know what it means. So somebody else is like, oh, they see you just speaking so magical that it's like, okay, but we can learn it too. All the stuff was left for us, So,
Right.
So like I said, if you have the book, that's great. The section Akhu Ba Ankh tells you all the stuff that we have to cover. So if you want to figure out, okay, what do I need to know to be fully certified? You can look at the book and see all the stuff that has entail, right?
Okay.
Is that spiritual warriors or healers?
Yeah, if you have that book. I don't know what I did.
Yes, right here. It's
Yes.
this one.
That book, yes.
Yeah.
So it has a chapter on just Akhu Ba Ankh. It tells you all stuff. You be like, oh man, I learn all that stuff. Yes, the answer is yes. So
All right.
I don't know, even if, let's say, when we get to the floor stuff, You may not be able to stand on your head and stuff like that. I'm gonna show you how, but but it's not required for you to be able to do it, as more so your ability to guide somebody to be able to do it. Okay, so there's certain benefits from that, obviously, because everything has benefits, but it may not be something that you can gain as far as your ability to do it, because a lot of people are afraid. But I'll take you through the steps. But it's a lot of stuff. Just be patient. As you learn the stuff, you understand them, you can move real fast because you know exactly what I'm talking about. Yes.
I guess this is a bit unrelated, but Akhu Ba Ankh, would you apply that if you're going like work out, or like I'm an athlete?
Yes.
So like before a game or before a training, like would I do what we just did?
Yes, if you're trying to put yourself in a certain zone, right? And solidify that zone, magnify that zone, glorify that zone. So when you go out there, you like Haru, you like Shango, you like whatever. So you want to, because remember, spiritual is mental and it translates into the physical once your spirit gets it. And then, your body follows along because you want to do it and your spirit is excited about it. And then it puts you in that zone to do whatever you need to do, right? So that's what I'm saying. You have to have an agenda. You have to have a goal with it. And then you basically embody that spirit that you want to become, through the training. It's like you as you do whatever you're doing, you put a shield or that label, whatever you want to become, on yourself. And then you become that, The Haitian Revolution, people didn't pray to Ogun and then Ogun came out of nowhere and beat the French. No, they embodied the spirit of Ogun. Be a warrior. It's like either, fight or die. We gotta, die for our freedom, then we might as well do that. So it's like, for righteousness, for that was Ogun. Ogun fights for righteousness with the metal. So, with iron. So they became that and they did it. No spirit, they didn't was like, Jesus, waiting, and Ogun was like, I got you guys. No. You know what I'm saying? And this is how we were tricked. Instead of embodying these spirits, we learn to just pray and wait for it to come from somewhere. So how did we get tricked into doing that? But that's what it is. And this is why this practice brings you back, to embody these things. We articulately think it, we speak into existence, and then we put into practice, so we become that. That's why I said Jehuti Huru Nepu. Speak it, or you think it, you speak it, and you do it. That's how you become that. And then you master your senses, and whatever you're trying to do, you got that with you. You got that juju with you. You know what I mean?
We get the energy.
That's what we're trying to gain, that juju. I'm like, yo, how does he do that? It's power, yo. What? You can harness all that. You embody all that. And there's a way to do it. And we have lost our way. So these practices bring us back and bring us back to that point of being powerful.
I want to try it when I work out today. Try to get in that zone. I always work out with music. And there was a time when I was working out with vibrational frequencies.
Okay.
Because I heard like that helps for the brain waves, but I've never tried just nothing. So I'm going to try that today.
Okay. So one thing I want you guys to know too, the foundation of certain stances and posture, we're going to learn them by counting, like Olumwingo. We count to 100 first in Kiswahili, then 100 in Mudunecha. Mm-hmm. So you learn the posture, how to feel the energy, because energy, you're not creating the energy, right? You just basically calling it or transferring from where it is to where you want it to be. So you formulate your body, and then all your fingers are pointing toward each other, and there's a circulation going around, right? And your energy, where your mind is and your breathing is your energy that's being accumulated, right? But at this point now, you're counting instead of an affirmation. So it's not really goal-oriented per se in terms of what you want to do with it. You're just basically trying to feel something. But once you master that, you're gonna substitute the counting with an affirmation, right? You could do the Spiritual Warrior's Pledge. You could do whatever. But this stance that helps you become free and strong, you put an affirmation on top of that, you just think about it, bro. You know what I mean? You put that together, so it's giving you even more of what you need to do something, right? That's not the workout to make you like this or whatever. It prepares you, right? Because remember, you may have had some sort of blockage, whether it's here or physical or emotional. These practices are there to help you move those blockages to become as whatever you need to be, strong, as free, as
Blacknificent.
What's that?
Blacknificent.
Blacknificent. Yes, exactly.
I love that word.
I love it too, right? To become as blacknificent as you want to be, you know, because this is why it's a healing thing. You have all these blockages based on the external world. Mm-hmm. So you want to remove those things to heal yourself. Or that's the healing. So that way you can now take the step to strengthen yourself, do whatever you need to do. So as a practitioner, you do that for yourself. And whoever you're trying to help, this is how you explain to them. That's what that's doing, right? And, you know, so lastly, like I mentioned, this will end in Kiango Cham Kono, which is the divine hand versus the shackle hands. In Akhu Ba Ankh, we call it Kiangu Cham Kono, which is the hand of divinity, the supernatural hand, because it's healing. Everything is doing soft or whatever. It's your Tai Chi. But within that same thing is your Kiangu Cham Kono, which is shackle hands. Because your hands are shackled, right? Because this was developed for the purpose of freeing ourselves from being shackled, basically, right? So we learned the principle of wrestling. It's all over the walls or whatever. It's like we became masters of that. But it came to a point where the invaders came and did this to us. Now we are limited, but we still need to figure out how to free ourselves, how to fight. So we use the fighting principle that was of old, of ancient, that's ours. And now we add, you know, this principle to it. Because at the end of the day, when your hands are here, you protect the center. And that's the whole thing about fighting. You're going to see that as long as you protect your center, or you're conscious of your center, whatever is coming to you, know where your center is. You know that your center is where you're going to get hurt. So you know how to protect your center, how to move from your center, how you trap something that's coming to your center. And then you're able to find ways to extend your hand with the limitation that you have and still strike. And the benefit is that that's the way you should fight anyway. Your hand should not be all the way out here like this. Your hand should be close to you, right, ready to fight. And everything is very short. So it forces you to learn the way you should fight anyway. So this is why, you know, Kiangu Cham Kono is excellent. A lot of people prefer it than the animal style of fighting, which is in Kupugani and Gumi. But to each his own. I like both because the animal spirits help you get in touch with your own animal instincts, right? And the Kiango Cham Kono give you the more practical, this is how you really do it, boom, 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 and it's over, right? So you need both if you're interested in the combat. But for you guys, like I said, the highest level or the end game for your training, your practice, your learning is the Kiangu Cham Kono. You learn it, the Tai Chi version of that. It's done very softly, right? I've done the whole form, I think, and I put it on Facebook, which I wasn't supposed to. And Fadish, at the end of the day, it's like, whatever, man, it's out, you know? Because remember, he didn't want to put none of that stuff out. And I'm like, just getting on, like, but it's dying, nobody got nobody. And eventually he's like, and I want to bring it to Ghana. You know what, brother? You're right. Let's put it out there. I'm like, yes. Right? So teaching you that, guys, you know, that, and that'll complete your whole system. And then when you're ready to test, you let me know, and then we'll go over all the things that I'm gonna tell you. You need to know this. Do you know da? Like, yes, okay. And then we'll establish a time for your testing and get your certificate, and you part of the federation, the foundation, you know, and your name will be recognized wherever you are. If they want to check back, you know, they can see your name exist as somebody who's an official practitioner. Okay. So,
yeah. So we have a class on Thursday.
yes, yes.
Yeah. So you're gonna send the video between now and today and Thursday?
Yeah, I have one already. I'm doing a salute. So Thursday, like I explained to my brother here, Zell, that Thursday will be like a review and
a review. Oh, wonderful.
An introduction of what we're gonna do following, right?
Okay.
So, like I said, you know, the introduction of the first stretching exercise, Ulumwengo, and I think I said one more thing, but I haven't written. I'm sorry.
You said shoe walk.
Yes. Shoe, yes. Shoe, the first shoe, the Urefu Mazoezi Moja, the first one, and Ulumwengo. So we do that, introduce you to that. And then the following Tuesday, we go more deep into that. So Thursday, we review what we did today with the introduction of these three things. And then Monday, we go into these two things. So Monday is the day that we learn something new. We get introduced to it on Thursday, but Thursday is the review of the stuff we did on Monday. If that makes sense. Okay. My Aunt Mess, are you there? You have any questions? Okay, maybe you are just recording because I'm about to sign out. You know, thank you guys for coming. So
thank you.
8:34, so good timing. So, okay, so here we go left, okay, the same way. Ankh Uja Sineb Neb. Shem Yem Hotep.
Shem Yem Hotep.
How do you do the Shem?
So basically I go Ankh Uja Sineb Neb, right?
Yeah.
And I say Shem Yem Hotep.
Yeah. And the right hand is still on the front?
This point doesn't matter because
doesn't matter.
Right.
Okay.
Because it's not like you about to transition to something where you need to have a certain hand forward, right? This
okay.
is
about the shackle hands.
Oh, the shackle.
What is that one called? Kiango?
Kiango is shackle. Kiangu is a divine hand. So there's two different words. So shackle hand is Kiango cha mkono. Kiango cha mkono.
And that comes after Akhu Ba Ankh?
That's the last part of Akhu Ba Ankh. Kiango cha mkono. Right. The Tai Chi version, the slow version, right? So if you want to continue into how to use that for combat, that's going to be a different class because that's more into Kupagani and Gumi. You know,
that's the one. If you have that online, that's what I want to take.
Okay, so yeah, that's the thing. But you have to be introduced to the stuff that puts you into that, category of being able to learn, especially online too. You know, if you were like in person, it would be easy to teach you Kupagani and Gumi. You know, just follow along, but here online, you have to understand the concepts, get the fullness of it with the practice. So, okay. So, it's cool, man. The only difficulty will be seeing how this stuff works. Because if you can get somebody like, hey, can I try something on you? That type of thing, right? Because I'm very good at explaining certain things, but some might want to see how it feels, right? Kind of like, okay, this hand is forward. You can bring it here or here, and it's closer to your opponent. You can do stuff like this. This hand actually blocks and you trap, and this hand covers, and then you come back with this hand and you strike. You might be able to see exactly what I'm talking about, but like, yeah, I want to actually do it to see how it works. So that's why, it's kind of like Kupagani and Gumi is going to be limited, to some extent, because it's going to take the strength of my ability to explain this stuff very well for you to feel confident enough to say, I know it, because otherwise, you need physical, demonstrations or whatnot. So that's why it's like, okay, we'll take it to Kiangu Kono, and then I can tell from that you can understand the motions, and I can say, yeah, you can actually understand the instructions for Kupagani and Gumi to learn shackle hands online, because it takes you to be able to understand my way of explaining things and to be able to do it correctly. Because once I see that we have that connection, then I can explain certain things and you get it, as opposed to you don't understand what I mean when I say certain things and you will get it. So we have to establish that first. I was fortunate enough to have learned the same style that Infidishi learned, which is Honga Kung Fu. I was a black belt. He was like a 5, 6, 7 degree black belt, so it was much higher. But the way he explained things, I was able to understand quickly. That's how I moved so far, so quickly in Kupagani and Gumi, because I was already a black belt, and I was able to understand the way Infidishi teaches things, you know, his style of teaching. So I'm able to understand fast. And that might be you too, but you have to establish that first, right? All right, family. Okay, I don't want to keep you guys too long. Then you might not want to come back. So,
Dua.
okay, so enjoy the rest of your evening. Okay, Uncle Johnson Neb. Look forward to seeing you guys on Thursday. All right. Shem